It's Ketchup Packets.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis.
And this is Ketchup Packets. Today, we are going to watch episode 2 of season 1 of Severance called Half Loop.
So last time on Severance, what happened?
Well, Helly was severed. We learned a little bit about what that actually means and what that is.
What orientation is like?
Yeah.
Very disorienting and terrible. Let's see, what else?
Mark, in the real world, Mark was contacted by Petey, his friend from work.
His coworker who had mysteriously stopped working there.
Yes.
Mark's life looks kind of pathetic, sort of.
Yeah.
You know?
Not very joyful.
No.
Yeah.
He's running from the death of his mother? Did they specify specifically?
I read it as possibly his wife, but they didn't specify it.
They did not say clearly. They mentioned coming up on an anniversary, and they mentioned that, a female close to him had passed away.
Okay.
That's all you really know.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. The company that they work for is... The tasks that they do are weird, and we're not sure exactly what they're doing yet, but they're some sort of pharmaceutical / tech company.
Yeah, so-
Nebulous, we're not really sure exactly what that is all about.
I mean, we know that brain chips is one thing
Yes.
they make
Yep.
because they do it to their employees. So.
Right. Did they? I don't remember them explaining how they do it, but I guess that makes, a brain chip would be the...
Petey did say bypassing the chip wasn't easy. So
Yeah.
that's the only reference in the first episode to the method.
Yep, and they,
Severance,
they did use the word surgically separated
Yes.
when they were talking about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something about the chip inside the brain makes the two personalities separated.
Yes.
And that's it. Besides that, I don't think we got a whole lot of information.
No, that's pretty comprehensive, I
he
think,
lives next to his boss
Yes.
in real life.
The big reveal at the end was that his next door neighbor is his boss. So, yeah.
And she seems to like him in the real world and kind of despises him at work, which
Yes.
is interesting.
And had two... I did like that there was the echo of her mom at work. Her mom was an atheist and had some saying appropriate to the situation. And then in the real world, her mom was a devout Catholic and had some...
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't catch that. It's
I realized...
Interesting dichotomy.
I also... That didn't click at the time, but that is weird that she would bring up her mom at work.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. Because everyone else
Yeah.
seems to not even know their name or what
Right.
anything about themselves at all.
That's an
either,
interesting point. So what does that imply about management?
They're
Yeah.
Whoa, maybe they have. Well, I don't know. It's,
Fake memories.
Yeah, something planted in their head, kind of. What's the word I'm looking for? What was that movie where they went in multiple levels down into
Inception?
incepted into their heads about
Incepted
what
into
their
their
real life
brains.
is like? Yeah.
I see. Interesting. Well, should we check it out?
Yeah, we definitely should.
All right.
We have a Patreon. Check it out in the description below if you're interested. If not, that's all good. And thanks a lot for watching with us. Let's do Severance.
No, I don't want to do
Well, let's
Severance.
watch Severance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that either. It seems terrible.
I acknowledge that henceforth my access to my memories will be spatially dictated. I will be unable to
We get
access
more
outside recollections
Helly
whilst on
backstory.
Lumen's
More
separate
induction.
bits of floor.
But the next time you yourself will be sentient will be this evening in the elevator back up.
Okay.
That
The elevator
explains.
has a handrail at hip level.
He looked so unsettled watching her watch that, and he's the one who taped it. So he got to see both sides of it.
Just relax.
Ooh.
This is...
God.
The fact that that's just how brain surgery also involves power tools is always...
Yeah, really. Yeah.
The skull is hefty, you know?
Yeah.
Like a circular saw and stuff.
Oh, and there's like sawdust
Bone
coming up.
meal! Yay! And you just drop it in there.
I'm very excited to meet you.
Serial
Okay.
killer shit is that?
Yeah, this all very unsettling. She seems just totally down with it, though. She's got a very good attitude right now.
So far in.
Hi, Helly.
Oh, what's happening?
Great to see you. Your orientation's been so much fun.
She just goes straight to the stairwell.
Sometimes when a new hire is adjusting to a separate space, we help by bringing them here to the stairwell to experience the transition viscerally.
Oh no, I'm trying to leave.
No. It's all part of the process. If you want to spin around and head back in, that should be that. Hey there.
Uh-huh.
What the hell?
That's okay. Not a problem. Want to give it another shot?
I think this would be like a clue to herself that she
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's so friendly. He's so...
Hi. I'm at the stairwell. It's going fair. No, she's...
Yeah, this is her, yeah, again, trying to leave.
I don't want to be in there, do I?
You're learning that you do. Hey, when we heard you were coming here, it was like a miracle. It's amazing what you're doing.
Whew.
It would be super disorienting at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
Hey,
so it's tomorrow now?
yeah. Well, it's Monday.
A weekend just happened.
Yeah. I find it helps to focus on the effects of sleep since we don't actually get to experience it. You may feel rejuvenated or less tense in the shoulders.
I mean, it's been years. You'd figure out how to adjust to this style
Yeah.
of life, you
I
know?
know, 5.
Still just a
So I guess we're not friends.
Guess not.
real rough way to say that.
Yeah, jeez.
100% is tier 5. That gets you a caricature portrait. You'll note I've accrued an embarrassment of wealth in that regard.
Oh my god.
Each one of these, finish file in the can.
Yeah, I guess like
So that's
an
the
actual
highest award?
bonus means
Percentage-wise,
nothing to
yes,
these
but
people.
No.
Numbers by quarter's end.
Each category of numbers presents in such an order as to elicit an emotional response in the refiner. They'll be sort of disconcerting, scary.
Scary.
I know.
My job is to scroll through this spreadsheet and look for numbers that are scary.
It sounds dumb, and Mark said it dumb.
Am I trapped here?
In what way?
Like, if it turns out I hate this and I want to quit, is that an option?
Yeah. How would outside you even know?
Well, since this perceptual version of you only exists at Lumen, and quitting would effectively end your life. I mean, in so much as you've come to know it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's an
jeez.
interesting concept too, you know?
Melon bar.
Hi, Mr. Milchuk. Helly,
Melon bar.
I'm agog at how well I can tell you're already fitting in. The office feels whole. Now,
Jeez.
let's get this party started.
They are laying it on super thick.
Yeah.
I would be very off-put by all of this.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about myself.
Well, sure you do, Helly.
I really don't. I guess I went home last night, but I don't know if home is a house or an apartment or if I live with a family.
I like to think my Audi lives on like a riverboat.
Yeah, they gotta like make stuff up.
They're us on the outside.
You saw yours yesterday in the video.
Right, I actually have a few things to say to her. Can I record something back?
Unfortunately, the elevators are equipped with something called code detectors. So messages can't be passed through.
They're like metal detectors for written symbols. Lumen Original, apparently.
That's right.
Sure. Okay, well, what if
I don't think you're quite...
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You don't buy it?
Well, it's just very
This is Helly.
scary.
10 years old. She's a...
Well, I
What is there to even
broke
say?
protocol this morning.
Yeah, all their fun facts are about work stuff, 'cause it's all they
I
know.
was
Yeah.
testing the old group photos, the ones with PD, and it just made me feel sad. And I guess worried that I won't be able to run MDR like he did.
That tracks. I have similar worries.
So PD was just gone. And I mean, I don't know if he's got some new job, or drunk on a beach, or dead.
That's enough, please.
It's unprofessional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to have feelings.
Only about numbers.
Yep. Yeah.
I think
Weird.
this is a good time to remind ourselves that things like deaths happen outside of here. Not here.
That sounds like a
A life
Foreshadowing.
is protected from such things.
yeah. To find like little things like that, like what was I doing with my fingernails? Like what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Milchuk's a nice man. When he says something, it's best to listen,
I don't care.
because he can't always be nice like that.
Yeah.
Okay, refiners.
You don't care
Let's
'cause
get
you
this
don't
new
know
group
what he's
photo before
capable
the
of,
melon
maybe.
load sets
Right.
in.
Oh. All right.
Last.
I have a wild speculation
Right. Great big smiles.
What's that?
that they're harvesting. Like,
Say
they're not processing, they're being harvested in some fashion.
Yeah, like their
Their
reaction.
emotion, their reaction, their psychology.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I quit. I don't want to do the file sorting thing, or the never seeing the sun thing, or the disappearing friends thing. I just don't want any of it.
you, there's code detectors.
Do you know that? Have you tried? Because frankly, it sounds made up.
Helly!
Oh God.
Yeah, it's pretty alarming.
Oh, who the fuck is that guy?
Mr. Grainer?
Come on out. What have we got here?
In the last episode, Petey said that Grainer was probably following him.
Perhaps you better come with me.
Yeah.
Mr. Grainer? Hey, so you found my wayward trainee. Appreciate your help, sir, as always.
Ooh. It's got scary eyebrows.
So, if Helly tripped the code detectors, that one saw me, and I apologize for that, sir. Earnestly.
On you, then. Let's go.
Ooh.
How do you feel now, Helly?
Well, one of the best ways to keep human beings in line is not to threaten their safety or themselves, but the safety of the people around them or the
Threaten their
people
peers,
they
yeah.
love. Yeah, and their peers. Not that she has any reason to really care about him, but he's kind of her, like, you know. He's been nice to her so far.
He's
Kind of
interacted with her
rapport.
more than any other person she's ever known. You know, she's
Yeah,
only
right,
been here for
yeah.
10 hours. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Break room. Ooh.
Yeah, there are no breaks. This is not a break room.
So, Lumen,
Yeah,
like half this town.
and half of me. That was a joke.
It was funny.
I'm in the archives division, sort of a corporate historian, apparently. So a lot of sensitive material, hence the...
So you don't think you could get married and have kids and just forget they exist for 8 hours every day for your whole life? That doesn't mess with your head?
I think for some people it's the point.
Yep.
Is that a oblique way of saying
So,
let's
as
stop
a-
talking about this?
Yeah, right.
It just feels
We're trying to get a measure on the ballot to keep megacorporations like Lumen from continuing to force legalized severance on our state.
They're forcing it.
That's what they're lobbying for. And Jane Egan is trying to
Okay,
sever
well, what
kids-
about the self-mutilating types that do it willingly? I mean, I heard that some of them are so deluded they don't even know they're victims.
Oh
I
no.
also heard that
She's not liking this.
His day was going okay, even though he's kind of boring. She was into him, you know.
So people can just like self-imprison. Are you captive right now? No, seriously, because your past self chose to walk you down here to be an infantilizing prick to people.
Severance is subjugation, asshole.
Oh, that's nice language for it. What are you, 12? Are you 12 years old? Are you even in high
I can't help but
school
think that, like, if he'd been told what it was going to be like before he did it, he might agree. But, like, once you make a decision to make, like, a brain-altering, you know, at your own free will, it's like, you're going to come to the defense of it, even if it...
Yeah.
There's something obviously missing in his life, and he...
Right, but once you've made an irreversible decision like that, your mind will do a lot of work to tell you it was the right choice.
Right, exactly.
Mrs. Selvig,
Peace offering.
are we fighting?
Why would you say it like
Keep
that?
thinking about those damn bins.
Oh,
It's so funny what she's like outside.
very kind. Here, why don't you come in? I have milk.
Why, thank you.
Like, she lives next door, but she was acting like she's all cold outside, you know?
So no hot. Still waiting for that third bulb to revive itself?
Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting to change that.
It's interesting that she can make a, you know, kind of condescending comment to him about his own house, and then he just goes immediately to try to fix it.
No, maybe it was a reminder that he has been thinking about it, you know?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if the dynamic of her being his boss out, you know, on the inside is maybe feeding into that a little bit.
A lot of confidence for a man who once got disciplined for dozing. Sorry, that was...
I can't help that I was hired older than you.
Yeah, how do they not just end up
never stops,
killing each other?
Endless toil.
Never see anyone else except for each other.
Sick or fired? Probably sick.
Hey, they wouldn't have fired him for my note thing, would they?
No, no way. He did a stint in the break room yesterday.
That would go insane.
Yeah.
You can see her deciding whether or not she should ask what that is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Black goo.
Maybe it's a
Dreaming?
benevolent black goo.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's,
Redecoration. Halloween decorations. Dozing? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Irving.
You're not allowed to have a strange experience,
Yeah.
Irving.
Disturbing the workplace. Let not weakness live in your veins, and tame thy tempers. Sure. Weird John Kellogg.
Nothing scary.
Interesting.
I thought without severance it would make more sense, but they separate us from the other departments. We don't even know how many there are.
Yeah, imagine getting access to the memories back and it still doesn't make any sense
Yeah,
what you're
right.
doing in there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
You fucked with your brain. Your ears are gonna start bleeding.
Okay. Okay, so what is it that happens down there that's so bad?
There's this room.
Oh, man.
We go in there when we don't act right.
I'm afraid you're not sorry. Please. I truly am. I'm sorry. Please read the statement again. All I can be is sorry, and that is all that I am. I'm afraid you don't mean it. Again. Please. Forgive me for the harm I have caused this world. None may atone for my actions but me.
Whoa.
Yeah, that'd be bizarre.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's the break room.
I mean, it doesn't have to be any form of physical torture or anything. They could just literally tell you that we'll make you leave and you can never come back.
Yeah, that's threatening your life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is that the... Yeah. Is he scourging?
It's a nice piece of art to have on the wall in an office. Terrified goat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Of course.
That piece hung in the perpetuity wing for many years. I know. It broke my heart when they took it down.
Perpetuity
Better
wing.
here. It's calming.
That doesn't sound good either.
Most people only think of O&D when new handbook totes come in.
Well, I love those too.
Yeah? There's new ones coming next month. Best design yet, in my view.
Oh, wow.
God.
Well, that's all I'll be thinking about until then.
Well, it's their whole design. Their whole job, I mean, is to just like design the gear that people use at the place. you know?
Mm-hmm. Gotta keep it fresh somehow, you know.
And obviously decorate the space.
Yeah. An aspect of this whole thing has to be just like keeping things just fresh enough that people don't start like becoming violently frustrated with no change in their environment at all.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll have a wellness session like this.
Your Audi is fond of music and owns many records. Your Audi is a friend to children and to the elderly and the insane.
Okay.
Your Audi is strong and helps someone lift a heavy object. Your Audi likes films and owns a machine that can play them.
Wow.
Splendid. I'm sorry. Please try to enjoy each fact equally and not show preference for any over the others. That's 10 points off. You have 90 points remaining. Please don't.
Whoa, what?
Show does a really good job of just
Your
twisting.
Audi wanted a name 2 weeks ago. Your Audi values water.
Well,
Photo of your
okay.
Audi with a- Your Audi is skilled at kissing and lovemaking.
that doesn't seem work appropriate.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please don't respond to any specific fact. That's 10 points off.
I was just...
Please don't speak further, or all remaining points will be deducted and the wellness session will end.
Dude.
Hi, kids. What's for dinner?
How was wellness?
Great. Very restorative. I met the O&D department head.
Bert? I've met that guy. He's a fuck. I don't need to tell you.
That's a myth. And don't pretend you care about this department. You just want your waffle party.
Oh, beg fucking pardon.
Numbers are getting scary.
Lumen has been good to us, and it is feckless.
Guys? Why is it
You okay? Just fence off the bad data like I showed you.
Can you see the perimeter?
Okay.
I gotta say, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been it?
Well, you just haven't been doing the job long enough, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Just like any new job, there's a learning curve, you know? You get the flow, get your flow state.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Fucking refined.
All right, Helly. Hip hip.
They were scary. The numbers were scary.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this, Mark.
Well, I figured my work self would be pissed if I let you sleep in a greenhouse. Lights on the left.
I mean, functionally, this is not that different from just bringing home a vagrant who
Right, yeah. Exactly.
says he knows you. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Just a nosebleed.
Yeah. TV nosebleed.
Yeah, take a shower. Get yourself reoriented.
Definitely, if you're feeling like dizzy with a headache and stuff.
Oh no!
Getting into a slippery shower is the safest place to be.
Flashbacks. Well, sort of. He's seen himself.
His brain's trying to like resever. He's trying to like split again.
Okay.
No!
Oh shit!
Went by pretty fast, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Severance, episode 2.
Yeah. Feel like the cadence of this show is about it starts to sort of answer some questions for you and then presents more questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
I'm gonna tap a picture above myself.
yeah, right. I just hope, you know, it kind of rounds out a little better than that.
Right, yeah, if you got me into another Lost shot.
You know?
Well, we wouldn't know until the 7th season, you know, or whatever.
Right.
6 seasons, but yeah, you know, I've grown to forgive some of Lost's perceived transgressions as time has gone on.
Yeah, there was an attempt.
It was an attempt, yeah.
You know,
it's kind of the first thing that was like that, too, so, like, honestly, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop being great TV for all the rest of it, even though the ending wasn't great.
Yeah,
So that's why I still, you know, a lot of people feel like they hesitate to get into a show of this nature because they say, oh, if the ending is bad, the entire journey wasn't worth it. But I feel like the week-to-week mystery is satisfying and rewarding in and of itself, even if at the end I feel like it didn't all stick, you know, the grand landing of it.
Yeah, right. You know, it's like it was the first instance of they fumbled the ball at the finish line, and because we had that warning, it never happened again.
What?
Game of Thrones never happened again.
We're talking about Severance, damn it.
Yeah, right.
Stay on Severance.
I will say, like, in like contrast to Lost, is like this show does keep like twisting. Like there are more details, but they don't feel just like they just got thrown in to make it interesting.
They're not just nailing stuff on. They're like, there are things that it's like, oh yeah, that does fit in there, and I hadn't even realized there was a space to fill. Yeah.
Oh, I guess there's a hatch, and I guess there's a smoke monster.
Okay, stop talking about Lost.
All right, sorry. Yeah, okay, but I agree. It's like, you know, it's like things that also already kind of fit, like the break room.
Yeah.
Right.
Being a labeled room that, like, you think when you're just like walking through there maybe for the first time, it's like, okay, so there's the break room, but it's like these people never take a break, like a real break.
Yeah, why would they give them breaks? Yeah.
And so it's like, and then the break room being like some sort of bad place that you go, and then the only thing we really have as an experience in there is a video or an audio recording of him like apologizing, and that's it.
Right.
What's the threat?
Yeah. Also, how do you get that audio recording? Like
That's very interesting,
that becomes a thing of like, okay, how did PD do this? And does that defeat the code?
The code detectors say they can pick up written symbols. So,
which is mind-boggling, right? Like how does it? So it distinguishes between the labels on your clothes, or do they have to remove all the labels from their clothes?
The watch that he put on, when he changed watches when he went down, the watch that he put on had no numbers on the face.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But he was still wearing his same clothes. And also, like, designs. Like,
I
how
think
does like, I realized I'm willing to just buy into it for, like, the premise of the show.
Right, but I think it might have been in this episode. If it's not, it's a background detail that comes later, and so this will be just a minor world building detail spoiler for that. But at some point, he walks past a storefront that says like Severance appropriate clothing or something. Like that.
Okay.
So it's, I think it was when he was on that date with that woman. It might have been when they saw it. But
okay.
Yeah, so they established that like they sell clothes with no letters and no labels
and stuff on.
Right, but like, how does it determine intent? For instance,
it's a good
if
question.
You had Severance appropriate clothing, but you stitched a complex system of, a complex symbol that had meaning only for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but putting aside all other things, like how would it determine that? It's a very interesting, like philosophical. Like I'm willing to buy into it for the show. Cool, they have a machine that detects writing. Gotcha, but it's just like a huh.
There is a piece of supplemental material that was given out for free on Apple Books called the Lexington Letter. That is a letter written from the perspective of someone who worked in a severed office in another part of the country than this. And they describe sort of attempts at creating a symbols language that don't count as letters to the code detectors, but that they can communicate with between innie and outie with. And so this, it's not needed to read in order to watch this or anything, but it is supplemental, world building stuff that's out there that they sort of created. And it has some other interesting little details that can kind of feed into the show, but maybe don't read it until we watch the entire season, because I don't know exactly what sort of stuff it will hint at and, build to that the show maybe hasn't introduced yet. So.
And the thing that I keep having to come back to when I'm thinking about that kind of stuff is like that the innie, this innie and the outie, right?
Yes.
Is that what they're called? Okay,
very childish words, but
yeah, sure. It's inksock. It's simple speak.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the innie doesn't have, and first of all, the outie doesn't have a lot of reason to search for like signs from the innie that anything is specifically wrong.
No,
right?
Yeah.
They just don't.
They think they've entered into a straightforward arrangement.
And the outie doesn't have any of the tools necessary, or the innie doesn't have any of the tools necessary to send a message besides pen and paper to the outie in the first place. In order for them to create some sort of coded language, they would have to create it together.
Right. It would be a very it'd be a very complicated.
Unless you know like Egyptian hieroglyphics, both in and outside. Even those are symbols, like what do you even do?
Exactly.
Like,
so their general knowledge does come in. So maybe if you had learned something like that, maybe that would come through. But you're right. It presents a problem that's nearly impossible to solve. I think there's an interesting symbolism in the show of the finger traps as one of the prizes. Where like that's a thing where you have the 2 points, the two identical things in the sides, and the further apart you pull them, the tighter the trapping is, and the only way to escape is to bring them together.
Yep. And it's also just interesting to think about the fact that like when he was in the what would you call the calming wellness room or whatever, like he was being told quote unquote facts about his outie, and he didn't, if one of the facts was like your outie knows Latin, like he wouldn't know Latin. Like, does he know Latin?
That's true. No, that's a good point.
Does he know how to swim? Does he know how to? Does he understand music or anything like that? Like, does he have any appreciation for that at all? Is like, are these people even really the same people? Like at the end of the day, besides whatever physical thing is acted upon them inside, and that's how I'm pretty sure that in the break room, there's no like physical torture happening. It's all psychological because any mark left would be a mark seen, right?
Yeah.
Except for I guess they could give you a gift card and it's all good.
Right. But they can still. I mean, psychological wounds would still persist when you leave. You just would lose access to the reasons for them and the explanation for them. And vice versa as well. Like Mark's grief, I feel like, is still in there when he's inside Lumen. He just doesn't understand why that's a part of his psychological experience. I feel like you don't cease to be grieving because you can't remember why.
Right.
I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah. There's research that that trauma, psychological trauma, affects the brain in the same way that physical trauma does. So, yeah, that's
yeah. The idea though of not leaving any mark, either physical or psychological, seems like a very important piece to like making this work. Because if
they don't have any evidence, then you know?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're waking up after a day of work that you don't remember, like waking up the next morning and you just feel awful every day, or like you just feel like in your brain you just feel like something is bad and off, and that something terrible is happening, and you can't put your finger on it, you don't go back. It like.
Right.
You don't have care for the life of your innie being able to persist.
No, that's true. Yeah,
like
but you don't want to quit your job unless you really need to, because that upheaves your entire, it's what we talked about in the last episode a little bit of, like, it's a thing you just need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, like, how many people wake up and wake up anxious, wake up hating the day right now because of their job, and they don't even have the benefit of just like not being able to like
remember it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and
that's
not having
true.
to like actually go through it moment to moment.
Yeah.
So
it seems plausible that Mark's alcoholism is contributed to by the parts of his life that he doesn't remember at the office.
Yeah, it could be.
Like, they planted the morning thing there too, so I totally understand. Like that could also contribute, but like. That feeling of it's a drug of despair, and that feeling of despair,
the resignation to being stuck there, like either to be in Helly's state of mind of like the franticness of I need to figure out how to get out of here, or the resignation that seems to be what the other three are in, where like there's no way to not be in here, and like either one of those states is not a good state to be in for 8 hours, like that affects you by if existing like that. So.
You get finger traps though. So that's
caricature
cool.
portraits.
Right, caricatures.
A waffle party.
Right,
Waffle
and
party.
all three of them, they all have three different like ways that they cope. Like Irving is there for the rules, like he's very, it's the procedure is everything, and I have not picked up the other guy's name. Dylan. All right, yeah, Dylan is the incentive, the gamification of what he's doing, and then there's just the like, I guess kind of the general buy-in to the work that he's doing.
Yeah.
I think Mark is there for the relationships, if I were to say what his main incentive is. Mark likes his relationship to the other workers. That's, I sort of feel like these are categories of what people get out of mindless office work, like they either...
Gotta make it fun for yourself. You have to like enjoy the rigidity or like the
structure for its own sake.
Exactly. Or like appreciate your coworkers and like, try to make friends with them kind of thing.
And then
they go by that.
Helly represents the fourth type of I'm here because I have to be, and I would not be here if I had any choice.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Which that personality, if they were only there ever and didn't have an outside life, would try to figure out ways out as much as possible.
Yeah, it's interesting to ponder how a personality like that will develop in a circumstance like this over time. Long periods of time.
Yeah. And also... now the numbers are scary to her.
Yeah,
which is
she gets it.
Yeah, it's something. And it's like I feel like I understand that there's probably more to that piece, but even if the true like nature of what they're doing was never fully explained, the idea of like, okay, just do this for a little while, you'll get the hang of it, and then you'll kind of just be able to see what we all see. It's like, that repetitive nature of work. You know, like, and you get training into a new job, and it's like, I know the cash register seems a little complicated or whatever, you'll get it.
Exactly,
you're like beep, 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 beep.
This whole thing is just a caricature of what modern work life is really like. And I think this had been in development for years before the lockdown happened, and people like really got to step back and examine what an office was as a space and sort of office in our culture. So it's just kind of, a fortunate coincidence that this dropped at like the exact right moment culturally, as like an examination of what an office is,
Yeah.
You guys ever seen Visioneers with Zach Galifianakis?
No, I've heard it. I've heard about that. It's where there's like one corporation, right?
Yeah.
It's like a world where there's one company.
And a lot of pieces of this are kind of similar to that.
I've heard it recommended in discussions of this show before.
So I don't know. I don't know why I even said that, but it's got a lot of the same
clearly,
themes,
similar.
about like kind of the perpetualness of corporate culture and how it can kind of eat away at you slowly. But like,
Yes, the
they're trying to
dehumanization of it.
They're trying to eliminate that by having you not have any other experiences outside.
Right. Yeah.
So what's Irving's whole the walls are melting situation about, do you think? Not you.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know at all. I very much like I don't know, I wildly speculated that they're like harvesting the stupid Matrix human computer idea, right? Like there's something about having people and possibly like blank slates of people reacting to this data. I don't know. Maybe they're using them to eliminate malevolence in an AI that's going to be a black goo AI.
Okay. Like a smoke monster.
So those are like nanomachine
right.
goop.
Yeah, but also like I don't know. The company itself is fascinating to me because this figure at the head of it doesn't seem like a Steve Jobs or a Bezos kind of guy. He seems like a Kellogg.
Yeah,
like
that was an interesting comparison you made to John Kellogg. Do you know who that is? The founder of Kellogg's cereal, like created cornflakes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He was obsessed with the idea of children masturbating.
Yes. And that the cornflakes would prevent this.
Yes, if you eat cornflakes,
yes, I do know a thing about
also, popularized circumcision in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Also as an anti-masturbation technique,
guy,
I
fun
believe.
guy.
Yeah, and he's really like he's connected in all sorts of ways, things with like the Seventh-day Adventists, but also like spiritualism, I think.
I see.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be interested to know if there's an intentional allusion there, because I had not made that connection before, but I definitely feel like, I mean, knowing more about that founder figure in this show, I think you're right. You're onto something. So you'll continue to see more about Keir Egan. That's who that person's name is.
Yeah. So I just had a thought, just a speculation about Irving's little hallucination that he had and his tendency to doze in these types of things. Like, there are a few reasons why someone might go through like a procedure like that at work, right? And like one of them might be that you're just trying not to think about, what's going on in the rest of your life, or like take almost a vacation from your thoughts in the outside world. The other one is that, I know when I've had times in my life that are tough or like whatever, that it's really difficult not to take that with you. And if Irving's life is hellish outside of work, this could feel like an escape from that. Right. And if he's, that the black goo, I don't know, there was something very sort of foreboding about it. And like the dozing thing would suggest that he's not getting like a lot of sleep, And so like, whatever's happening outside for him probably isn't very much fun. And in this place, he's like just a cog in a machine that gets to go about his day and not have to think about, literally not get to think about any of that stuff if he doesn't want to.
Yeah. Well, and how doesn't any guarantee that their outie is like getting enough sleep or like doing the things they need to do to make the work possible? It's like you have no way to communicate. So it's, he could be dozing because his outie's not sleeping. That's true.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. This show's cool, man. I'm excited to keep rolling on this one for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. And we still don't know quite how big our audience is going to be on this one, but we're hoping there's at least a few of you down there watching Severance with us. Tell your friends, hook people onto this show. I know that's what I've been doing like crazy ever since I first watched it. It's a crazy show.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis.
And this is Catch Up Packets.